Hi Flosstube, it's Karen, recovering monogamous stitcher. I'm back today with recording number 71. Today is Friday, June 6, 2025. I am aware of the historical significance of the day, but I'm going to start by diving into the mundane and record a Flosstube. Thanks so much for being with me and coming along on my stitching journey. I appreciate it very much. Welcome to my longtime subscribers. I appreciate you so much and your comments and our interactions. It's very nice, and I appreciate my new subscribers. I believe in the last month I got 17 new subscribers, so welcome to the channel. I hope you continue to enjoy what you see. Make comments, let me know if there's something you want to see that I slough over and you need more details, let me know. You're very welcome here, and I hope you enjoy yourself. Thank you so much. Well, what have I done since the last video? I stitched every day, both in my stitchy chair and on my machines. I've been doing lots of sewing in my sewing room that I'm not ready to reveal yet, but lots of zippers. Okay, so in today's video, I have a focus piece finish. I have one piece that was a new start and a finish and a fully finished that I will share with you. I've had other new starts. I will share my WIPs. I have a little bit of haul I will share, and the featured quilt that's on the wall behind me, but we'll save that for the end. Okay, there was a comment on the last video that I just read last night, and thank you so much for this. But, oh, I was going to show the bag. Remember the bag I showed that I had left in my sewing room for 2 days with pins in it because I wasn't finished with the quilting, and the pins made dents in the soft and stable foam. And someone recommended to me that putting an ice cube on the dents will take that dent out. And I've read that before about, you know, if your chair legs leave dents in your carpet when you move your furniture around, and you can put an ice cube on that spot and it'll puff back up. So I'm going to try that. I haven't had a chance to do it yet. I think that's a great idea. Thank you so much for that suggestion. I'm going to give it a try. What was the other thing? Oh, last video also, I mentioned that I plan to reorganize my floss, my overdyed flosses, and I still plan to do that. But it's going to be more complicated than merely separating the dyed flosses into a file box according to manufacturer, because my shelves are full, and now I will want to put 3 additional file boxes on those shelves. There's a little problem there. So I'm going to have to do some serious reorganizing and prioritizing what's taking up space. Currently, I have 3 shelves that are batting. I mean, I think I can find a more efficient place or way to store the batting that would open up some shelf space. So that's going to be a deeper dive than just organizing the floss, and I have not started it yet. I go into that space and I look at my shelves, and let's see this, so it'll take a lot of thought, and just frankly, I'll just have to pull stuff out of there and start reorganizing. So I have not started that job yet. Okay, I'm going to show you my book of days. The last Flosstube was on May 23rd. So I finished the month of May. And then on this side, I have my goals for the month, and I've done all of them, every single one. So May was great. And now we've turned the page and started June. And okay, so far I've stitched every day, and this is today, our Flosstube. And here are my goals for the month. I already have a finish on my focus piece. What else? I had a goal of finishing casting a spell, and I did. And let's see, what else? Okay, so, and of course, I always have a red sampler on the go. I'll talk about that in a bit. I'm going to be doing the stitch along with Queen City Sampler Guild on Martha Miller. I want to finish, my goal this month is to finish Mary Amelia's bird. I think I'm close enough that I can reasonably get that done. And I want to touch Jessie Challenor. I want to go back to specialty stitches. And I have a question mark, new start. Can I slip in a new start? I'll see. So those are my goals for the month. I've got a good start to the month, and hope I can keep it going. Okay, Okay, my finish, my fully finished, no, it's not fully finished. It's a stitching finish. It's not a fully finished. Stitching finish is Margaret Hutton, which, as I told you last month, I made her my focus piece. I jumped her ahead of Ann Got because I wanted the chance to get her done so I can take her with me when I go to Hobby House in August. And I did get her done. So I'd like to be able to share my finish with Nicola when I'm there. So here's a picture, Margaret Hutton, Hands Across the Sea. This is a Scottish sampler with many specialty stitches in it. And it was fun. I have to tell you, it was fun. There were enough specialty stitches throughout that something was always new and different, and I loved it. And the colors, of course, are just wonderful. Okay, so that's the pattern. And here she is. Oh, I was going to point out some of those specialty stitches. I had it all planned. Okay. Now, I'm hoping I can get this close enough that you can see. So here she is. Whoops. Wasn't that helpful? Okay, here she is. Lots of 1/1. She put initials and crowns all through this. I think there are 12 people that are memorialized in this. So that was a lot of 1/1, that all saved till the end. So let me show you these specialty stitches. I have my list here. Now, I have to look at it to see. Okay. This row, right above the V, is alternating double back stitch. And when done correctly, it is reversible. I was not 100%, but I can live with that. Okay, this one is rice stitch. Can you see the texture that gives? It's beautiful. And rice stitch is not complicated. This is 4-sided stitch. This whole row of alphabet is 4-sided stitch. I'd come across 4-sided stitch in a pattern before and just did regular cross stitch because I had no clue how to do it. And this row of alphabet, you'll see all these fancy additions around the letters. And that is called double running stitch. And then we come to Algerian eyelet. Oh, I love the texture of Algerian eyelet. That whole row and this row, dividing row, is all Algerian eyelet. Then there's 1/1 here, 1/1, 1/1, 1/1. Okay, down here, oops, do this. Queen stitch, see that triangular shape? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10. Each of those they appear like buds or something, but they're like 10 different queen stitches in there. Can you see? Try to hold it still. Those were fun. Once I finally got those, they were fun to do. And these up and down this vine, those are all queen stitches. Queen stitches repeat over here. So Margaret Hutton, she's a beauty. She's a beauty. You would love it. So that's my finish on Margaret. I'm going to move her off here. So that will now free up her bag. This is a penny and Tunny bag made specifically for Margaret Hutton through Queen City Sampler Guild. So this will free this bag up for another project. I'm thinking perhaps Queen of the May, which I just got a notice from the attic that it's on its way. They had lots of delays in materials, so, and I was waiting for 46 count fabric. I absolutely wanted that. So Queen of the May will take up residence in that. Okay. All right, then the regular WIPs that I worked on, these are other WIPs that I worked on. When Flowers Blossom by Brenda Gervais, with Thy Needle and Thread, Brenda Gervais. And I keep saying this, and I've written it in my book several times, When Flowers Bloom, but it's When Flowers Blossom. And I did have a start on this last time. I know I showed you the lady, maybe the flower. Well, I did a little more on it and got a start on the house, and I'm saving the fill-in for a Zoom call sometime, because that's always a good thing to do. And I've started over here. There are lots of flowers coming up here. There's another house up here, so there's a lot more to go on this, but it's a fun stitch, of course. Brenda Gervais is just great with designs, and that's my start on When Flowers Blossom. This is stitched on 40 count brown sugar from Fiber on a Whim, and I'm using the overdyed flosses and some DMC, and if you're really interested in what I'm doing, I can look it up for you specifically. And I don't remember if the DMC were called for or if I just did some substitutions. So, When Flowers Blossom. And that lives in this honeybee themed bag that I made with a little bee charm on the zipper. Oops, bee charm on the zipper. The next one I worked on, okay, I'll have to get this one. I did not want this to fall off the table, so I moved it over so I wouldn't bump it. Okay. Casting a Spell from Blackbird Design. Oh, yeah, let's show it upside down. The box, and it says right in the pattern, the box is available at Hobby Lobby, and I found it at my Hobby Lobby. So I had the pattern for a while, found the box. The box is unfinished wood, and it needed to be painted, so I waited. Actually, you'll recall, was it last fall maybe? I had like 3 days where I painted all the items I had, finishing items that I had not yet painted, and I painted and waxed and did all that stuff. So I had my box ready, and I just started Casting a Spell last week, and it's all done, fully finished. Yay me. So here it is. This is how it'll stand on this little wire easel type stand I found at the dollar store, and it's perfect depth. You see how this depth is right? So that'll be a nice sturdy support for it on a table. Okay. Now the instructions had said complete these 4 corner pillows on a box of a Jello box, empty, of course, Jello box, gelatin box, and I did not do that. I did them as regular pillows. Look at that reflection. You can see the whole sewing room. This is the first one I did, and the size was perfect. I could put it in the space. I could tip the box over, and it just stayed. It was perfect. All of these should have been the same, but these 3 turned out a little bit smaller, and they're a little loose. And I don't know if I'll do anything with it. I could do something to raise them up, put something behind them so that they are closer to the surface. I did not use any glue on my pieces. I was able to cut, for these flat ones, I was able to cut the mat board. And the size was given in the pattern, but of course every box is slightly different. They're just not, all the corners aren't completely square. So I had to, of course, custom fit the mat board to the spot, to whatever the space was, and then allow for fabric to wrap around. And I did not lace them though. I wasn't going to fuss with that. So I used double-sided acid-free tapestry tape, it's called, I think. I got it from Fat Quarter Shop. And I used to do that when I did my own, finishing my pieces onto a mat board and then having them framed. But I don't do that on those pieces. I do lacing now for those. But this, I didn't think I needed to do lacing, so I didn't. And those will stay in if I tip it. Now, these little pillows will not. Whoops. If I tip it, they stay right in. See, this is slightly small. Slightly small. I have thought perhaps I would restitch at least these 2 and make them bigger so that they would stay in, and then take these 2 pieces, unstuff them, and make them into the front and back of a needle book. I might. I'll see. because I'm just really feeling like, ooh, done. And I don't know if I want to start it again. But this is my Casting a Spell. And when I painted it, I undercoated with orange, and then I used crackle finish on top of I put the black on with crackle finish on it, and you can see how it crackles, and then the orange shows through. I did that on purpose, and then I put black, just, it's not real wool, it's acrylic felt, like you get it at craft store, on the back, just so it won't scratch anything. So there's Casting a Spell, done, fully finished, yay me. I think I told you last time, Casting a Spell is one of the first things I bought. When I came back to stitching, I retired in 2018 and got sucked back into stitching. And so it's been, I've had it all this time. Now it's done, yay. I'm happy, I'm thrilled with that. Okay, I'm gonna move this off the table, sorry. Okay, that was Casting a Spell. Okay, Amelia's bird. I showed this last time, and I did some more stitching on it since. This is from Quaint Rose Needlearts, Amelia's bird. Darling round finish, and I'm stitching it on perforated paper. Inside the pattern, it says that the original was done on perforated paper, so that's what I'm doing. And this is being stitched on 18 count perforated paper. I ink stained it myself because 18 count comes in white. Yes, Kim, Contented Stitcher Kim told me that. Contented Needleworker Kim told me that at the attic. And I had picked up some, like, oh, look, this is ecru color. And she said, well, check the count. And it was 14. So they kindly let me just trade it out for the 18. And she was right. 18 count only comes in white. And so I did my own ink tinting on it. And I'm close enough to being done that I think I can get that done this month. And last time I told you that I had checked out a plate frame that Anne brought to our stitching group, and I think that will be perfect. So I'm going to plan to do this as a round finish inside a plate frame. I guess people buy that. They have a souvenir plate or a fancy plate, and then they can hang it on the wall. So that's what I'm going to do with this. That's my plan. Amelia's bird. And this lives in just a sad little plastic bag. I need more project bags. Sorry. Okay, the next thing I stitched on was my red sampler. I always have a red sampler on the go, and I've decided to give a red sampler 3 days a month, and this one is from Hands Across the Sea, Dorothy Bryant, Noblesse Oblige. I started this last month, so she had 3 days last month, and I've given her 1 day this month so far. So let's see, I had the entire top line done, and I had that first border done. This border was about halfway, this border was about halfway. I brought these down farther so they could get completed, and yesterday I did that amount of alphabet also. So that's 1 day's additional stitching on Dorothy Bryant. This is stitched on 40 count Dirty Teacup from Linen Flax. I love it. It has just enough modeling. It's not terrible and, you know, like overwhelmingly, like a stark difference between the dark and the light. I really like that. I've heard other stitchers say it's their favorite. I can see how it would be a favorite because it gives it that antique look, and it's just, I think, perfect. It says Dorothy Bryant, Hands Across the Sea. And she'll get 2 more days this month from me. And she lives in this Project Keeper. I used Tiger Lily Designs pattern and made this. And I have other red samplers in here ready to go. I have Dinah Elizabeth Disney, again, Hands Across the Sea, and Susanna DeCarl, Hands Across the Sea. So I'm getting a nice little collection of red samplers. Okay. And those are the things I've stitched on in the last 2 weeks since my last Flosstube. And let's see. Okay, I'm going to pause the video and clear the decks, and I'll show you my haul. Okay, I'm back. It's not that I have so much haul really, but I just needed to get the table cleared off so I don't knock things over. The first thing, you see this every month, I'm in 2 thread clubs from Fat Quarter Shop. This one is the Weeks Dye Works Floss Frenzy. This is this month's flosses. I get 6 flosses every month in that club. Another thing I received was a scrap bag of wool from Bird Braden Designs. I contacted them directly and she made up a scrap bag for me and sent it right out. So now I have plenty of wool to do the needle cards I want to do. I have patterned for skinny pillows and I've been wanting to do those. Now I have selection of wools to use for that. So I'm happy with that, in addition to what my dear stitching friends brought to my last stitch meetup. Both Julia and Lisa brought me wool. So I'm set with wool. Thank you so, so much. Okay, next thing I got was my monthly subscription Sew Sampler from Sew Sampler box from Fat Quarter Shop. I did open it and give it a quick peruse, but I didn't really dig into it because I wanted to share it here. So I'm going to show you what's in it. And this month's box, May 2025, is called Cottage Garden. And it features Jolly Bar from Corey Yoder. This fabric collection is called A Bloom. And panels. A Bloom quilt panel. Now I haven't opened this up, but look at the cross stitch. Depending on the size, I'm thinking project bags, because I'm not likely to make a quilt. I mean, it's very cute. The quilt calls for, these are the center, and then the fabric that came with, of course, would be the sashing and line patches that go around it. But I have other quilts waiting to be done, and I need project bags. So I might do that. I might just hijack it for a different purpose. Also, then we got some little woven labels that can be put onto bags or quilts or whatever. I think they iron on or they sewn on. Extra touch of personalization. I'm not sure if they sew on. Okay, they have a free tutorial using the QR code to show how to use it. And this little notebook for quilt notes, it has useful information about quilts if you wonder bed sizes and so forth and how much you get from this much fabric. And then it's all grid. So you draw out design ideas and so forth. So if you get out, you're out someplace and you see something of great design. And here's another way to use the Jolly Bar that they've included here. And great. So that's this month's Sew Sampler box. And there is, let's see, QR code for something. Where did that other add? There we go. There should have been block number 2. Did I move it? No, I don't see it. Okay. All right, so that's the Sew Sampler box from Fat Quarter Shop. And that's my haul. It wasn't so much. Now I'm going to pause and we'll look at the featured quilt. And I think that's it. So hang on. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. This is a New York Beauty. This is a wall hanging that I made and sadly did not label it. I don't know what year. I know it was before the year 2000 because I know which house I was living in when I worked on it. So, and this I purchased as a kit, and I'm pretty sure I got it at a quilt shop in Beulah, Michigan. On our way up to Mackinac Island one time, I always like to stop at that shop. There used to be one in Manistee I would stop at too. I'm not sure that that one's still there. And this was foundation pieced. It was fabric foundation pieced. It came as a kit in that shop. And, oops. So it is 12 blocks. It finished at 40 inches by 50 inches. It is hand quilted, and I pretty much just did hand quilting around any edge. That was it. And that's another way I know when it was done too, because it was hand quilted. I didn't even try to do it on the machine. You can see some of the hand quilting on the back. And this was fabric foundation pieced. The kit came with all the printed pieces, and I've cut with my pattern. I have this leftover fabric. It had the instructions on it. So this is one way to put it, and I did mine, instead of horizontally, I did mine vertically. And then the, you know, how much you would need for each fabric. And they even included a label. And doofus me, did I use it? No. What was wrong with me? I don't know. Anyway, so this is New York Beauty, and I would love to do another New York Beauty. I have some paper piecing patterns that I downloaded from the internet, and they have variations on each of these sunsets. Some of them have, you know, several pieces here, or extra short or long, and so there are all kinds of variety, and I would really love to do that. Let's get that thread off there. So that is one, unlike double wedding ring, which I said I'd never do another one. This one I would like to do again. For one thing, the foundation piecing makes it easier to make good points and not have things be askew. So, New York Beauty. Okay, now I'm trying not to touch my button here. Okay, so that's all for today. I will be back again in 2 weeks. And in the meantime, have happy stitching. Bye-bye.